Sir Robert Bryson Hall II, better known as Logic, is a rapper from Maryland who has released a number of projects since 2010, starting off with his Young Broke and infamous mixtape. Since then he has released a number of projects, all the way up to his most recent release, Bobby Tarantino. Now while he's not the fastest rapper in the world, there is a lot of verses, or enough of note, where he manages to pick up the speed quite a bit. So my name is CDTVProductions, and today we are going to be counting down the 10 fastest Logic verses of all time.
We call that ballin', doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling, my phone off and she calling. I'm like, yeah, what it do? Penthouse, man, what a view. Fall back cause I'm coming through with my whole team, they coming too.
Starting off our list at number 10, we have Upgrade, verse 3, where he hits 6.6 syllables per second.
Universe, I had to fly through the Bermuda verse. 6 on the beat, then we cue the verse. Now I'm in another world when the flow immerse. Feel like I'm in the fifth element, I'm on my element, lost in paradise. It's me, you, and Lilu, Corbin, Dallas, and lost in paradise.
Now obviously this verse didn't really sound that fast, and it wasn't really, but there was quite a few we have to go through. I'd say there's 3 songs here that are kind of just average speed, or ones where he picks it up like for a little bit and then drops it. It's worth it once we get to about number 7, that's when the speed really starts to pick up. At number 9 we have Untouchable, which is a song by Wright featuring Logic and Kirk, and this is verse 1 where he hits, again, 6.6 syllables per second.
My city behind us, I know that you see that I'm murdering sinners all up in them when I rhyme this. My flow is impeccable, hella unbreakable, no way nobody else on us. So let me slow it down, yo, let me slow it down, check it, ayo.
Now this is one of those verses that might sound faster than it actually is over that period of time, because there is like small segments where he does pick the speed up quite a bit, but it's because he does, like, he picks the speed up, takes a break, picks the speed up and then takes a break. It could have been much faster, but that's the reason why it wasn't. So it is slightly lower on the list, although I do love the beat for that song and the entire song overall. If you haven't heard it, definitely check it out. It's got great verses from all 3 involved and fantastic production by DJ Hoppa. At number 8 we have Mind of Logic, where he hits 6.9 syllables per second, verse 3.
I just wanna take it to another level that I never even been on, so I can sit on every single piece of paper that I put the pen on. And when I've been on for like 10 years, I'ma do it better than anybody before me. So the whole wide world will adore me.
Now this is one of my favorite songs by Logic, and I honestly think it's because it was the first song I ever heard from him, and it's what put me on to listening to more of his music. And while he does maintain a steady fast flow throughout, there's no significant points where he really starts to pick the speed up, and I think that's why it's lower down on this list. But like I said, he maintains like a constant, faster paced flow throughout, and it does sound really good. And again, it's another amazing song. But after this is where it really starts to pick up into more the 7-8 syllable per second range. At number 7 we have verse 1 on Metropolis, where he hits 7.6 syllables per second.
Yeah, vibe with this bad bitch in the whip when I ride this, and I'm feeling it, Oh, when I'm 40 I'm still in it, one of the few that be killing it, Yeah, young motherfucker that be giving what he living on the road to success, so you know that I'm driven. But it didn't when I publish it, but right now I'm on some other.
So yeah, that was a really good verse there. I wasn't a massive fan of the song Metropolis as a whole, but of course I'm going to put it on this list because this isn't really based on my opinion, it's based on statistically what ones are the fastest. And if you don't know how I count it, by the way, is what I do is I leave it over a 10-second period, and I'll count the number of syllables over a 10-second period, and then it's easy math. Divide the number of syllables it is by 10, and there you go, that's the syllables per second. But yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of the song, but it was still a decently fast verse, so of course it's going to be on here. At number 6 we have Tic Tac Toe, verse 2, which he hits 8 syllables per second.
With the circle when they tell me I'm the man. I know I am, but never acknowledge it. Touring the country, I'm loving these colleges. Touch her more pussy than a gynecologist. Study her body like I'm a biologist with no apology. Baby girl, follow me. She got love on my kiss of criminology, and she be loving the.
Now, honestly, I'd say this one is higher than I thought it would be, because this one did sound like it was more just kind of like a really good high-speed flow rather than, you know, fast, like in terms of fitting loads of syllables in. But it does kind of show you if you go steady over a long period of time, it can result in you actually having a higher syllable per second count than if you just have small periods where you rip it up, basically. But yeah, that was a great song. I honestly love that song. I know a lot of people have said it's a bit mainstream for kind of what Logic should be doing, but I thought it was a really good song. It's really catchy, and I believe it samples one of the Weeknd songs, so it sounds really good. I love it. At number 5 we have Bounce with verse 2, where he hits 8.1 syllables per second.
What's the motto? Keep it real. I know I got it, I want it, I need it. We live in an era where they get deleted. I'm wondering if I'ma make it, man. Fuck it, I take it, I wreck it, I break it. These bitches they love it, but I never cover it. I just keep it going, that's why I be flowing. I'm already knowing it's like that I'm living, don't know what I'm giving, it's so hard.
Then this is another one that I'd say I actually thought it would be higher on this list than it actually is, because it's another one of those ones that does really like sound a lot faster than it is. I honestly love this verse, and I think one of the things that makes it sound faster is the way the beat kind of drops out, and the fact that he was rapping at a slower pace before and then starts to rap fast. Like, I think that kind of thing really does make it sound a lot faster than it actually is. But regardless, it's a great verse, a great song, and that is halfway down our list already. At number 4, we have Buried Alive, verse 2, where he hits 8.3 syllables per second.
Nah, listen up now. Love it or hate it, never debated. You can never degrade it. While these other motherfuckers probably thinking I made it. My mind jaded. No one never evaded. I elevated just to keep it innovative. Innovative, goddamn, bring it back now. Blowing up like a rag now. Rap back, put me on the map now.
So that was from Buried Alive, his 5th track on his Under Pressure album. I think if this kind of highlights one of the main things Logic does when he speeds it up, and generally what he tends to do is use shorter syllable words to make it, you know, easier to say them faster and stuff like that, or to make them fit into the rhyme scheme easier, which is understandable, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it does result in a lower syllable count. So even though this is at number 4, I reckon it could have been higher if there was bigger syllable words in there. Again, it was another great song, I can't complain. At number 3, we have verse 2 on Flexicution, where he hits 8.4 syllables per second.
Facts, and they wonder why I got it like that. Cause I put everything right on the track, and you know I'ma fuck around and let it go. I've been living like raw, I've been living, you already know. And these motherfuckers wanna take it, but never mistaken. I'm sure where I'm going, and I'm knowing what I'm doing. Intuition, never switching on a mission, motherfucker, what?
So yeah, that was pretty fast, and this was actually one of the songs that kind of got me back into Logic after I stopped listening to him for a while. Like, I first heard Flexicution and I thought, it's a bit kind of not mainstream sounding, because I don't mind that. The first verse didn't sound that good to me, but then he hits it with the second verse, and the second verse is so much better in terms of flow, speed, everything. I just found the second verse was a lot better. Yeah, it was a great song. It was actually the first single from his Bobby Tarantino mixtape, which also had a lot more they were just more kind of fun party songs, and I loved that whole mixtape. Like I said, it got me, that not just Flexicution, but that whole mixtape got me back into Logic, and I went through all his old catalogue. Then I just listened to a lot more of his music, which got me onto making this list, which I want to mention. I know a lot of you guys have been requesting this actually, so I hope you're enjoying it so far. Let's get into the top 2. And at number 2, we have Gang Related, verse 2, which actually ties with Flexicution at 8.4 syllables per second.
Don't give a fuck. Get down and lay down. Hit you with the Beretta, you better stay down. Straight shots on the playground. Living how I'm living with the life that I'm giving. Anybody that's riding with me, I'm riding with them. Show me the enemy, and I'ma hit him the second I bid him. I get him and hit him with the venom. Ain't no need to pretend I'm...
Now, even though this is number 2 on our list for the fastest Logic verses of all time, it is honestly probably one of my favourite Logic verses of all time. Like, nothing to do with speed or anything, just one of my favourite verses of all time. I absolutely love this song, and honestly, I hadn't really listened to it that much before I started making this list, which is quite interesting. I barely listened to it before making this list. I think I heard it once, and I kind of just like, you know, just kind of passively listened to it. I wasn't really concentrating, so I was just like, yeah, that was okay. But now going back to it, I actually love that track. I think it's fantastic. Everything from the beat, the way he flows over it is just magnificent, honestly. I think it is such a good flow for him. And just that last bit, and even up till that point, the verse was great. But then, in the last, like, what, 30, 20 seconds, he just picks up the speed all of a sudden, and it sounds ridiculously good. Like, that is honestly such a great verse in my opinion, and I'm happy I made this list, because otherwise I wouldn't have listened to that song again, most likely. I mean, I might have done, but it would have taken me longer to do so. And at our number 1 spot, we have Stainless featuring Dria, verse 2, where he hits 8.8 syllables per second.
I remember wondering if I would ever make it, but as I reminisce, I realize it was all irrelevant. It's evident I'm getting money for the hell of it. Never fuck around, set a flow celibate. Speaking for the people like a delegate, and when the situation delicate, I execute it with the proper etiquette.
Now, I don't even know what to say about this verse. I mean, as far as I know, this is the fastest verse Logic has ever done, and that segment where he picks up the speed is ridiculous, like. And the thing I mentioned earlier with Logic tending to use shorter syllables in his faster parts, he doesn't really do that here, which results in a faster verse in terms of syllables, because, you know, he's using, you know, slightly bigger words, and the way he flows, oh my god, like, I want to be more specific with how I say this, but the way he flows is ridiculous in this segment, because, you know, he'll go fast and then he doesn't slow down for a bit. He just slows down on like a syllable of the word, you know, like, I don't know the exact words to it, but you know, when he's going, you know, it slows down, it's like da proper etiquette, it like slows down and then he picks it up again, and I just think it's ridiculous. It's such a great verse, and that was off of The Incredibles True Story album, which actually, this and Upgrade were the only 2 songs from that album on this list. I think overall Under Pressure, like, overall had his fastest verses, but the fastest one came from The Incredible True Story with the song Stainless. It's a great song, it's got a nice beat. I didn't think it was too special first time I heard it. Again, I pretty much listened to it just to hear that ridiculous flow again, it's crazy. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got to say in it, and that takes our #1 spot as the fastest verse that Logic has ever done that I have heard. So, what did you guys think of the list? Just let me know in the comments below. Tell me if there's any songs that sound fast to you guys that I might have missed out, because as I've said, I haven't heard every Logic song. I've just heard quite a fair amount of his music and went through it and picked out the ones that sounded fast to me. So if there's any you think I missed out, just suggest them to me and I'll be very happy to check them out for you guys. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Obviously, I'm working through your suggestions. It'll just take me a while to get to the video. I mean, a lot of you guys requested this, so I hope you'll be happy to see it. And yeah, guys, that's all I got to say. Again, which I say at the end of every video, but you guys always deserve me saying it, is thank you. Thank you for all the support, because it is just getting ridiculous. You know, you guys have been there so much for me recently. We just hit 1,600 subscribers, so we're rising up pretty quickly, and I think I'll do my first, you know, kind of special type video at 5k, I think, maybe we'll do a Q&A then or something. But yeah, everything's been crazy, and I want to thank you guys for it. But that's all I got to say. Thank you for watching, guys. My name is CDTVProductions, signing